Guys and gals, the unthinkable had happened. NVIDIA managed to surprise us once again. Just when we became under the impression that the company reached its peak, NVIDIA managed to create completely new market from scratch. Those of you who are used to follow the companies looking only at their graphs or only at their stock price missed it completely because the stock price actually dropped on the news. So today we will break down everything, new technologies and developments, why the stock price of the company dropped, and is it a great opportunity to buy the stocks of the company that everyone is missing out on. Hey there and welcome to the Market Monkeys channel, it's Julia here, and today's video I want to begin straight from the news. At CES 2025, it's Consumer Electronics Show, one of the biggest tech events in the world, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang succeeded to impress everyone once again, showing off their new developments, their new technologies, and explaining what the future of AI and in general of the tech sector holds. So he introduced the Blackwell GeForce RTX 50 series graphic cards. In simple terms, these graphic cards are based on the Blackwell technology, and this will help computer games to become more realistic, to run faster, to work better. It will help 3D rendering and high quality video rendering, the creation of animation, and in general for the heavy processes that are difficult for our regular graphic cards. NVIDIA's main competitors in this field are AMD and Intel, and both of these stocks were supposed to drop by, in my opinion, much more than they did on these news, especially Intel's. But the funny thing is that NVIDIA's stock dropped by much more than AMD and Intel's, so the main question is, what the heck is going on? Why the management of the company brings amazing news and the stock actually drops? And we will talk about this a little later, but to answer this question we need to actually take a look at everything that has happened this week, which is kind of too much. Another surprise from Jensen Huang is a new mini AI supercomputer called Project Digits. It's a personal AI supercomputer powered by the Grace Blackwell superchip, offering much stronger performance for researchers, students and developers on their own desktop. But you know, it's not such a big deal. Only a couple of years ago we learned what AI is, and we got to experience this technology ourselves, and today Jensen Huang goes up and says that he will put this supercomputer inside of our desktops and will allow us to build and to test these large AI models on a day-to-day basis. But again, as I already mentioned, it's not such a big deal. Nobody even paid attention to this because there is other technology that beat the heck out of all of the other things that came out. This technology basically changes the future of AI, the future of NVIDIA, and the future of the whole sector, Cosmos platform. By the way, if you find this information interesting, if you find this information valuable, don't forget to support our channel by pressing a like button and subscribing. So basically this Cosmos platform is a game changer in AI development. It integrates NVIDIA's Omniverse simulation technology to automate training for robots, autonomous cars and others. Basically right now we need to collect an enormous amount of data to teach AI to do something. For example, in the case of self-driving cars, there are actually people that are physically driving around different cities, different countries, in different weather conditions and gathering data from these drives. For example, they're making video recordings. And with the help of these video recordings, they will after teach the AI to self-drive the car or any other vehicle. But think about this for a second. It even sounds not productive. All of these people, hours of video footage, a lot of space needed to actually hold this video footage, and a lot of time to process and to gather it. Now imagine that cars will be learning how to self-drive based on the very realistic physics-based data which is created by other AI. Basically, they have created AI that will generate learning material for other AI. And with this technology, the future possibilities are unlimited. One of the main reasons why we got to experience AI only at the end of 2022, after more than 7 years of development, is this. It's these difficulties to gather the large amounts of data, and after this to actually teach AI based on this data. And right now, for example, we are talking about OpenAI chat, right? About ChatGPT, which is large language model, and right now it's considered one of the less sophisticated AI models. So you can only imagine how difficult and how responsible it is to collect the data for the more sophisticated technology, for example, like self-driving cars. Speaking about self-driving vehicles, and it's actually another recent news from NVIDIA, it's the fact that they partnered with Aurora and Continental to scale driverless trucks. The first rollout is set for April 2025 in Texas, and we are talking about mass production by 2027. Together with this, Toyota and Uber recently announced a partnership with NVIDIA to research and develop new AI software for autonomous driving. And this is a great piece of news because automotive is the fastest growing segment for NVIDIA after data centers. So basically all of this partnership mean that we will not see the slowdown in this segment's growth in the near future. So NVIDIA has kicked everyone's arses once again. But the stock of the company is down, and the problem is that all of this great news came in the middle of a huge economic uncertainty in the US, so let's start connecting the dots. The recent JOLTS report showed that the number of US job openings jumped to 8.96 million, which is way beyond the 7.65 million estimated, and it is also up from 7.839 million in October. High job openings mean that the businesses are looking to hire, and it means that the economy is pretty strong. And it doesn't sound that bad, right? So basically, yeah, it doesn't sound that bad until you learn that everyone is in hysteria because everyone thinks that it can mean that the inflation will be strong because the economy is strong and that the rates won't be cut by as much as they were supposed to be cut. But now you will understand why I say that this is a hysteria. Job openings did indeed increase, but the quits rate meanwhile went down to 1.9% from 2.1% in October, indicating that workers are less confident in finding another job if they quit their current one. Moreover, the number of hires declining to 5.269 million from 5.569 million in November 2023. So what do we have here? Much more jobs, but the people are afraid to quit because they're not sure that they will find another job, and more position openings, but the companies are not actually hiring. So as you see, the picture is not clear. Right now we're experiencing a huge level of uncertainty due to the newly coming president and also unstable inflation. Does this mean that the whole market should crash by as much that even innovations and this great news from NVIDIA won't be able to beat it? I am not that sure. I think that there is a possibility that interest rates won't be cut by as much as it was expected, but on the other hand, there is no straight correlation between NVIDIA's stock price and the interest rates. Of course, interest rates impact all of the economy. Of course, they're impacting all of the markets, but we can't say that NVIDIA's projections for the future, NVIDIA's valuations, NVIDIA's revenues are dependent on the interest rates to that high extent. And in general, if we're talking about interest rates, I wouldn't be surprised if a company like SoFi, for example, would drop around 8% in a single day. Lowest interest rates are already a part of SoFi's high valuation. Investors are expecting to see an increased lending activity due to low rates, the high demand for loan refinancing, which is a huge part of SoFi's business, and lower costs of capital, which boosts the revenues for the companies like SoFi. So for the company like this, it is a big deal. But in case of NVIDIA, I wouldn't worry that much about interest rates, but there is actually some things to worry about. First of all, it's Trump's consideration of national economic emergency to impose universal tariffs, and this could impact NVIDIA's supply chain and costs. NVIDIA is highly dependent on global trade, so any disruptions in this matter could impact the ability of NVIDIA to stand on their supply goals. Another concerning fact is that the 10-year Treasury yield moved up near 4.7%, and this means that the discount rate to value future earnings is higher, and it hurts growth stocks, as their valuation and its often premium valuation rely on the expectations for the future profits. So this is no surprise that Nasdaq and in general growth stocks were pretty much down on that news. Now let's jump back to NVIDIA. This company focuses for the long-term growth on the sectors like AI, robotics and autonomous, which makes them a very interesting company for investment. NVIDIA is trying to spread their eggs to as many baskets as possible, and in my opinion there is a possibility that in many years, like I don't know, 10-20 years from now, NVIDIA will be earning a huge amount of money from some segment, from some sectors that we couldn't even think of back in 2025. Together with this, we do not need to worry about NVIDIA's revenues because, as probably all of you already know, that Microsoft has an 80 billion AI budget, and most of this sum we will see in NVIDIA's revenues. And besides this, President-elect Donald Trump announced a new $20 billion investment in US data centers on Tuesday, with the money coming from Hussein Sajjavani, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, a billionaire from the United Arab Emirates. Who will benefit from this the most? Surprise, surprise, NVIDIA. So where does that leave NVIDIA's stock? All of the uncertainties, all of the stock market downtrends did not make me change my mind and did not make us change our minds. We're bullish on NVIDIA for the past couple of years. We are invested in NVIDIA. Vadim, my co-host on this channel, has a dozen videos breaking down NVIDIA's business, everything they do. He has a DCF, full DCF valuation of this company, and he was actually expecting to see $161 per share in the end of fourth quarter for NVIDIA. Analysts are actually even more bullish than this. Analysts are predicting an average of $172 per share, and some are predicting it will go as far as $220, which doesn't sound crazy to me. I should say I see this as a possible scenario. So we are not reacting to this market instability. We are bullish on NVIDIA. We actually think that it's still not too late to buy the stocks of this company, and we will be holding these stocks for a very long time from now. That's basically it for today. Hope you found this information interesting. If so, don't forget to support our channel by pressing a like button, subscribing. I will see you on our channel next time. Happy investing!